Hello, and welcome to Theodore Skurblog, that's me, reads you a very short story. Why? Well, if you're anything like me, your attention span has been shot to about 0 over the last 3 years. I know I'm having trouble reading a whole book or long story or article, and also writing something long. But I was interested in writing something really short. So in January of this year, I started a project where I would write a very short story each week. Not all of them were great, but some of them came out pretty well. And I have them published on my blog, which is called the Skurblog. Information which will be in my bio. But then some people don't even want to read a really, really short story. So they would rather have somebody read it to them. So that's what I'm going to do. Starting with this, number 1. Short story number 1, The Comfy Couch. The couch was indeed big and comfy, as advertised in the title of the show, Molly's Big Comfy Couch, a PBS show aimed at very young children, probably under 4. But Ben didn't know. He was always wrong guessing a kid's age or what grade they might be in. Like his nephew, Lil Brian, who sat next to him on Ben's own, not very big, and definitely not very comfy couch, more of a crappy futon, really, in Ben's tiny San Francisco studio in Lower Nob Hill, which was a few streets up from the infamous Tenderloin, a much seedier and less safe place to be. Ben's sister, Blaine, had dropped Lil Brian off for a few hours while she took in some shopping and recreation in San Francisco. And Ben was happy to do it, just as long as it wasn't really more than a few hours, because after that, what was he supposed to do with this kid? Ben felt like he should engage Lil Brian in some way, like maybe ask him how old he was. But Lil Brian seemed content and actually transfixed by Molly on the TV. So Ben watched it with him. Molly, on her PBS couch, was suddenly appearing very adult to Ben. A grown woman for sure. She was dressed in a loose kind of clown outfit, but it didn't hide her curves, nor obscure from her very pretty, if not sexy, face. What the hell? Ben mumbled under his breath. And this caused a little giggle from Lil Brian. Ooh, you swore, Lil Brian said. Hell isn't exactly swearing, Ben said. My mom says it is, said Lil Brian. Oh, does she? Said Ben. But that seemed to be the end of the discussion. Molly, at this point, was playing with a doll on the couch. Is this a show for girls? Was she even wearing a bra? This has to be for the dads, Ben mumbled again. What are dads doing watching this at like 11 a.m. on a weekday? My dad's at work, said Lil Brian. God, this kid hears everything, Ben said. But seriously, this Molly is really something. Ben was trying not to imagine her naked. Hey, Lil Brian, Ben said. Molly, do you think she's pretty? Gross, said Lil Brian, suddenly sipping on a juice box that he produced out of nowhere. You're gross. And also, you can just call me Brian. Thanks for listening. Get a new story next Thursday. Hope to see you then.